Hey, good morning everybody. Blaine Sites, PGA Golf Performance Coach, and I want to talk to you about how you can break up some of the tissues in your upper back that might be causing bad posture, maybe a little bit of discomfort, or just causing you to not be able to play your best golf. And all you're going to need is some kind of a mobility ball. I have a couple different sizes here. There's no right or wrong. I'll show you how to use both of them here. Scratch that. Hey everybody, Blaine Sites, PGA Golf Performance Coach here with a great video on how you can break up the tight tissues of your upper back. If you've ever gone to get a massage and they've spent some time working on your upper back and around your neck, you know how great it can be when you feel that sense of relief. And it's something that you can actually do at home, and all you need is a mobility ball. So I have two different sizes here. This is more of a medium to large size mobility ball, and this is a little bit on the smaller side, just a little bit smaller than a lacrosse ball. I'll show you using the big one just so you can see it a little bit easier. But what we're going to do, if I turn around here for a second, I want you to think from your neck to your shoulders down to the bottom of your rib cage. We have our trap muscles, our trapezius muscles, and they do a lot of really good stuff for us and help us create some scapular stability, and they'll help us produce some power as we're coming down into our golf shot. But if that's kind of stiff and that's tight, then what happens is we get into a poor posture, probably from some upper cross syndrome where those muscles have become a little bit dysfunctional, and we really want to improve that posture. We want to be able to have the shoulder blades move around only so that we can then control them, what we call scapular stability. So let's go ahead now, let's take this ball, and I want you to kind of find this upper corner of your back. So if you take your neck down to your shoulder blades, out to the shoulder, there's kind of this triangle here, and that's where we're going to spend our time. So I'm going to get down onto the ground. You could take this ball, place it up into that corner that we were just talking about, and the first thing is I'm just going to apply some pressure, and I'm going to slowly move around on it. You'll notice I've raised my hips up. That gives me a little bit more leverage. If you feel like you get enough pressure keeping your hips down on the ground, go ahead and keep them down on the ground. But what I'm doing is I'm just slowly applying pressure, and then when I find that I'm getting a little bit deeper in there and the tissues are starting to break up, now I'm going to add some movement with my right arm since the ball's on my right side. And I have this kind of fanning pattern where my arm is straight, and it starts by reaching across my body and then almost straight up, and I work my way outside through these ranges of motion. Now notice I'm not going all the way to the floor. The reason for that is if I go here and I reach my thumb downward, I get to a point where I just can't go any farther. I could try to force it and my arm might break down, but really that's the end range for me right now because these are pretty stiff and pretty tight. So now I'm going to do some elbow circles, really start to get this to break up, maybe raise my hips again. I can go ahead and screw my arm in and out. I can find that spot where I'm blocked. I can try to squeeze my arm in that position. Then when I relax, let it sink in and go a little bit farther. But the idea is I just need to spend some time here until these tissues, which start off as this big hunk of dysfunctional mess, start to break up and we can feel those sliding surfaces refunction. So if you're in there and it feels like, boy, I have these ropey, sinewy kind of messes that keep breaking up on me, that's exactly video is to grab your ball and get onto the ground, and you're going to spend at least 2 minutes per side. Now an alternative to laying on the ground would be to use something like a wall, and when I use the wall, it's okay, I can use something a little bit smaller, really dive in there. I find if I'm on the ground and I use something too small, it kind of disappears. But I'll show you what we can do with this small one. We're going to find that same spot that we were doing just on the ground there, and now I will use my body weight. And I usually find that I have to kind of squat down a little bit so I can push myself into the wall. Now I can play around, find, oh, there it is, there's some gunky stuff. Now I can go through those same ranges of motion like we were doing on the floor, except this time I'm on the wall. Go ahead and give them both a try. See which one works better for you. It may depend on where you're at that day. Maybe you're out at a grass driving range, you can't lay on the ground, but you found that there's a wall somewhere. By all means, get creative with it. But again, the magic number is 2 minutes. So 2 minutes on one. Really feel that change. Show me some before and after pictures. I'd love to see how everything starts to improve. You can tag me on social media, #MoveBetterPlayBetter.